because people keep going in and out of relationships because in truth don't really know themselves. Hey, YouTube, sorry, this thing, YouTube wouldn't start on time, but now it started. Um, but as far as how deal breakers work, what we're talking about today is deal breakers. Uh, Deal breakers is one of those ways that only a person who truly knows themselves can truly actually know what their deal breakers are. It is easy on the surface to look at some of the things that we call deal breakers and to say that that is a legitimate deal breaker for me, like physical abuse. Most people can easily say that physical abuse will be a deal breaker for them. It's not hard at all. That seems very easy because it seems very logical. No one would want to allow themselves to be abused in such a manner. But of course, we see that happens quite often. Um, if a person, like, I don't mind if a person drinks, but if a person is a consistent drunk, can't do it, right? And it's not even the fact, there's a lot of key factors. So let's dive into that a little bit. Is it the fact that they're drinking alcohol that causes a problem? For me, this is only for me. No, it's not so much the drinking of the alcohol, but the loss of control, the loss of control of your personality during the time frame. Um, there was a person who was in my vicinity. I ain't gonna say what day, because then they'll know I'm talking about them. If well, they don't watch this anyway, but in this case they were. But oftentimes when they drink to a certain way, there's a certain point of their drinking where they literally start getting on my goddamn nerves. There's this behavior that people seem to exude when they get drunk that irritates me to no end. It's obnoxious. You know, when they're loud and they fumbling all over the place. I remember one time, you know, I ain't even go back there. There was a time where a person had got so drunk that they fell out of the chair. Right. This was like a long time ago, and they fell out of the chair. I wasn't mad that the person got drunk. It was the falling out of the chair thing, the loss of bearing, the foolishness that was spewing out of their mouth right after. It was all of that that got on my nerves. Now, of course, somebody thought that I was going to be physically abusive to that person, and then I told that person I will beat the hell out of you for even considering that I would be that way towards this other person. But when I thought about that, I thought about it, and then there were other times where other people, and it's not even just people I've dated, just being around people, period. Like being around people, period, who drink to the point of excess, I've realized irritates me to no end. Right. So there's that portion of it. Then, as far as you being my lady, there's the safety of it all. You know, the safety of driving. The world is different now. I grew up in Mayweather, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, but we call it Mayweather. Back then, you knew everybody. Everybody knew you. You was pretty safe. You don't live in that world anymore. It's unsafe as hell. So you never know what a person may have to do. Being black in America, you just don't even give a cop a reason. So it's like it's one of those things that I realize it's a bother. I can't handle it. A person with no consideration for other people, I can't do that. I can't do that. When you're so selfish that the only thing you focus on is what is comfortable for you, um, I do it all the time, every day. And let me give you an example. I'm staying here. I'm in my cigar lounge right now, and everybody who comes in here knows that the smacking and sucking of teeth irritates me to no end. But these jokers, sorry about that. But these jokers, some of these jokers who come in here, because that's how they eat, will smack, they will suck their freaking teeth, knowing it irritates me. I'm just the type of person that if I'm in somebody's establishment and I know that I'm doing something that's a natural habit for me, I do it. Not, I will do it everywhere else, but in here I'm not going to do it. Now I do that. I don't bother them too much. I offer them a toothpick. I'm like, here you go, man, toothpick, something. I get up and I walk out of the room because it's like, it's a business. I walk out the room. Yeah, they get on my damn nerves. And I've done it sometimes, and I do it purposely sometimes to make them know that you are an inconsiderate bastard. that you know that this teeth sucking, mouth smacking is it gets on my nerves, I will get up and be like, I can't take that smacking. So I said, no, you sit down. I'll go outside, you know, until you've done. Let me know when you've done. When you're done sucking your teeth and smacking, I'll go outside. Shit, I can never like really hang around, be around a person who shows no consideration for the other people around them. It's like, are you so self-absorbed? Are you such? Are you going to show that narcissistic tendency that I'm only concerned about me and what I like and what I want to do, what you want to do, what you like? That don't matter. That matters not. You know, I've always been that way, even from as far back as I know, and as far as things that I've been told by my parents and everything. I've always been that type of person where if I was doing something that irritated somebody else and it wasn't something that I had to do, then I would not do it. You know, or if I'm about to do something, I would consider how it affects other people around me. I don't, you know, this title has two titles. It says, "Let's stay together," and "What are your deal breakers?" So I'm a vacillate between the two until unless somebody got a point that they want to make. But like every day, and I tell my lady this, every day I think about what can make her happy. Every day I'll go out of my way to do something. I try to do something to make her happy, even if it's something as basic as certain text messages that you're going to send, um, doing something to make her laugh. Like I was talking trash to her the other night, a couple nights ago. I was talking, and I told her that the little teddy bear that she got for Valentine's Day, that when she's gone, that he's running around the house, right? And then when she comes back to the house, he trying to hurry up and get back up into the bed and back into his spot like Toy Story. So she left. She left for work. When she came back, I had position. I took the time to position the little bear to make it look like he was trying to climb back up onto his onto his little post. You know, it's simple. It didn't take a lot. The only thing it took was you thinking about somebody else. You know, thinking about a long, you know, I know when she comes home, she goes upstairs, she comes into the room, she sees that it's going to make her laugh. You know, for that moment, that laughter, because you don't know how her day was. Well, I do know how her day goes because we communicate, but you don't know. I never know how her drive home is. How about that? I never know how her drive home is. So she could have had a bad drive home. She could have had an irritating drive home. But once she steps in the house and goes upstairs, she sees that little bear trying to climb back up. It makes her laugh. Now she's trying to make that into a consistent thing because I came downstairs this morning and the bear sitting at the table like he about to have some breakfast. You know, but that's all right. Where did she get home today? Oh man, where did you get home? We're gonna play this game. But that's what I'm saying. Stand together, playing little games like that, uh, having little things help keeps your relationship. And the 80-20 rule still applies. Because just like a person, they name all these different things that are rule breakers. The best situation is people name all these different things that they say that they must have in a relationship. How you doing, Kiki? People will name 50, 11 different things they must have in a relationship. I need, what up, Jamie? I ain't seen you in a while, bro. People will say, I gotta have a man or a woman who got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, name like 9, 10, 12 things. And, you know, if you sit here in this cigar lounge with these jokers, they name everything in creation that a person has to have in order to make them a good wife or a good husband. But in truth, it's a small number of those things that actually matters. The 80-20 rule always applies. What's up, Think 904? How you doing? It's a small percentage because 20% of the things that are done gives you 80% of your happiness. Gives you 80% of your happiness. You know. So you have to figure out what that smaller percentage is in order for you to truly match up with the right person. I have been writing this book for a very long time. It's taking me forever to finish it. But I talk about the 80-20 rule and how you have to figure out within after you get past the part about knowing thyself, there's the 80-20 rule of once you know who you are, then you can start to figure out what are these few things that gives you the greatest amount of happiness. You know, let's say that a person says that I need a mate who makes six figures because they want to be financially secure or have enough money to go live whatever life they desire. But in order for that person to make that kind of money, they're working 12 hours a day, right? Working 12 hours a day. And then that other person starts complaining because they don't get to spend as much time for them. So which one is actually more important to that person? Is it the six-figure income or is it the time that they spend with their mate? You see what I'm saying? So now there is a balance because you want a little bit of both. Maybe they don't make 120,000. Maybe they put forth the effort to make 90, and then you rearrange your budget to fit that 90. But the person making 90 may not be working as long or traveling or doing whatever that the 120, $200,000 person is making. So that's a big difference when you start to understand what are your smaller things. What are your 20% that gives you 80% of your happiness? You know, how often are you a person who loves getting gifts? Do you like to go out? Do you like traveling? Like what gives you that happiness without you knowing that? And you have to know your true happiness in the middle. You know, that whole 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figured income thing is a bunch of bullshit. These dudes want the super fit, sexy, twerky girl. That's a bunch of bullshit, you know, because okay, so like when I got divorced and I was 36 years old and I was a personal trainer, it was all I was being very superficial at first. At first, I was being very superficial. I was like, you know, she got to be fit because because I owned a gym at the time, so she got to be fit and she got to, you know, work out and eat healthy and she got to be beautiful and all this stuff. And not that I'm not trying to coin a stereotype, but I'll be damned if down there all them were dumb as bricks. They were like brick dumb. And that irritated me. It was irritating. And I had to stop looking for that because what I realized is that to be able to hold a long-term conversation is very important to me.
Right.
How you doing?
Hello. Doing well. How are you?
All right.
So on the third, are you asking people their deal breakers like in relationships?
Deal breaker in relationship, or what are your most important things that keeps you together in a relationship?
I would definitely say some deal breakers would be being rude to your family or parents or like wait staff or like janitorial staff, just like anybody who you feel like, I don't know, just feeling like you're above anybody else. That's like a very big turn on. And then what keeps someone around, I just feel like, is genuine conversation, open communication, and making sure that you're yourself and giving everything you expect in return.
Okay. So so somebody being rude to other people, but basically what you're saying is a person who has more of a narcissistic personality towards other people.
Yeah, where they like say the waitress brings out the food and the food isn't like to how they wanted it. If they were snarky to like the waitress or something like that, you know.
I'm sure you got other deal breakers on that, like if they start kicking your ass. Like
I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I
thought we were talking about like the less obvious
ones. But you know what? You're right. The less obvious ones are I was. So that was just I went off my own little thing right there. But you know that would show signs that person, when it comes to even how they may perceive you, they're going to look down on you in certain areas, which is a very arrogant personality to have. So yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. And you said stay together as being what? What you said it was being?
Oh yeah, just like open communication, honesty, mutual respect, and giving everything you expect to get in return.
Yeah, and you know that could. But what if they broke?
If that broke, then that's something that, if it once was there, I feel like it's always a possibility to get back to. It's just a matter of whether or not you guys are willing to work to make that happen, because it's going to be something where both parties are going to have to put in the effort to secure it again.
You know, that's a very smart thing, because a lot of people don't believe that, they don't recognize that they want the person who are already making money, but this much as easily as they made it, they can lose it. So, right. So the real question is, do you have staying power? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to be with anybody that doesn't have staying power. If I lose my business today, I want to know that my person, that my lady she's going to be there with me the whole time. You know,
right.
Even though I'm going to be mad as hell at myself, but I need to know that at least I got my cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. You should be your partner's biggest cheerleader. I don't understand why anybody else, no one should cheer louder for me other than, my lady. That's it. You should be, you cheer the loudest. You know,
that part.
Even louder than my own kids.
I am pretty loud.
Because the thing about it is, you will, I say this to people all the time. You grow up and you leave your parents, and your parents will more than likely, and I know this sounds morbid, but hopefully your parents pass away before you do, because no parent wants to bury their child. But your parents are going to leave you, and you leave your parents' house. You have kids. Your kids will grow up and they will leave you, right? Your siblings will leave you. Everybody else has a plan to leave you. Your spouse is the only person who is actually planning on being with you for the rest of your life. So that person should be your biggest cheerleader. They should be your biggest everything. You know,
I agree.
Like I tell my kids all the time, y'all will never be number one in my life. The only time they were number one is when I was completely single. Then you're number one.
Yeah.
But after that, as soon as you little jokers aren't number one anymore. Gotta go. You know?
Yeah.
And just like right now, them jokers, my kids are adults. They call me, check on me, but I don't see them jokers every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate that. You got anything else to add?
No, don't have too much stuff going on, so I figured I'd hop on live.
I can understand that. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me and give you my 2 cents.
I would say it's a nickel.
Well, thank you for allowing me to contribute anything I could.
All right, appreciate it.
Have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's always been a big thing for me. Is like, I've been in situations where I start dating a person and we develop into a relationship, and there's a difference between dating and courting, but it starts getting into the possible courting stage. But one of the things that has to happen before getting into the courting stage, when a woman already has children, is who is running your life? Is your life ran through the kids? Or are you looking, or is it possible? Is there a point where our relationship comes before your kids? You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those big step stages that your kids cannot come before our relationship. My kids do not come before my relationship. That's an easy one for me because I've already decided that. I've already had a made up mind about that. And some people have said to me that it's because I'm a guy. Because I'm a guy, it's easier for me to put my relationship before my kids. But I think when it comes to older people who are getting together, what's up, Jace? Getting together, and there are children involved, and you're trying to blend a family, I've seen more women. I'm trying not to be that guy, but I've seen more women who will say, my kids will always come first. My kids will come before any man. All right. You weren't saying that when their biological father, but you're going to say that with whoever this new dude is coming in. And then, yeah, there actually is someone who do that with the biologicals as well. But, and they were married to him and all this kind of stuff. I see a woman who puts her kids before the relationship, that either she's going to be with some simp, as people call them today, or that relationship is not going to last. It's not going to last. That's it. To say I'm right all the time, but not not vaulting, not valuing my opinion is a huge red flag. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, just Sean, so my reading might not be as great. Got to do like this right here, but yeah, a person not valuing your opinion. I mean, how can you have great communication if the person doesn't value what you're saying? If they don't take into account what you're saying, right? You have to be able to do that with a person. Uh, I mean, it's kind of like the young lady before was saying that be able to have consideration for each other in conversation, um, and communicate. If you can't communicate with somebody, then how is it you're never going to be able to develop a relationship? And if they don't value your opinion, then all they really want to do is just lord over you. And if it's a dude, then only thing you want from that person then is sex and housekeeping, you know, and arm candy maybe. And if it's a woman, all you want is paycheck, maybe a child, and clean up the yard. What are you asking for? What do you want? What's the purpose of being with somebody if you can't value what they have to say? But that was the problem that I had when when I was divorced, when I was single in my 30s, is that it was hard for me to value the opinions of the people I was dating, because those people, we weren't intellectually matched. We weren't uh, world experience matched. Um, so it was certain conversations we couldn't have. There were certain worldviews that was, in my opinion, missing so much, and I don't know, teaching at that time frame wasn't something that I didn't want to have a spouse that I felt like was a constant student. And let me give you an example before y'all start getting mad at me about what I'm saying right now. I'll give you an example. And this is an actual true story. This is a true story. True story. So I met this young lady, and I forgot how I met her. I think I met her online or one of them dating apps or something like that. And like I said, what you say? A lot of people don't prioritize their relationship. They sure don't. But let me tell you this story of what I mean by because I don't want to sound like some arrogant asshole who's like, oh, I'm so intelligent and everybody has to listen to me. No. So this is what I mean by sometimes your intellect don't match, your worldviews don't match, your world experiences don't match. You're not a good match for each other. So I met this girl. I think it was on one of those dating apps back in the day in my 30s. I'm 51 right now. And I'm going to make it a short story. So we talk, decide that we're going to go on this first date. Okay. We're going on the first date. I had her meet me at this perimeter area. We meet at the perimeter area. We're going to go to the movies. I'm going to go ahead and let you. We're going to go. Hold on. Can you mute it real quick? But we're going to go to the movies. And when we get there, when we're going to go to the movies, we wind up going to a Cheesecake Factory to have dinner, but the line was too long and we was going to miss the movie. So I was like, nah, well, hold on. Let's go over here to this other restaurant. So we decided to go to this other restaurant, but their wait was too long, so we don't go there. So then I said, I apologize. I said, I'm sorry. I don't do these battle things. So if that's what you was here for, I don't do those. But okay. Why are you here? I don't do that. No.
Вы не понимаете меня?
How do you get rid of people? There's some